on the 1st of June 2023. Then we were here with the leaders of Mogavul community, who is even here today together with us. Mogavul community is in MANGU local government area of Plateau State. Today, we also have here with us leaders of the Ron, leaders of the Kulere, leaders of Biron. And we also have joining us today the Secretary General of the Plateau State Community Development Association, who is at my far left. Gentlemen, it is yet another issue of attack on Plateau State communities. This is most unfortunate. Gentlemen, today we are recalling with great sadness the event in the evening of the 23rd December 2023, when Stephanos Foundation received a distress call reporting an attack on a community in BOKKOS local government area. It was an attack on Kambarpeli of Tangor district. That day, 17 people were killed and many homes were burnt. The following day, when the local government area was trying to get itself around the situation, that evening, the 24th of December 2023, and you will recall that that was a Christmas Eve, many other parts of the local government area began blaring calls of distress. Later, when Stephanos Foundation's fact-finding team took careful inventory of the attacks, our report showed that between 24th and 26th December 2023, a total of 31 communities in 7 districts were attacked, covering 4 local government areas of the state, and this killed 238 people. We have a map, satellite map, dotted with those communities, as you can see. Gentlemen, you will agree with me that only a deliberately orchestrated and carefully rehearsed capacity can deliver such capability. You will also agree that it is not possible to attain such a level of militancy without the knowledge of the authority. Unfortunately, Stephanos Foundation observed, sadly, that the neglect of similar instances has contributed in getting the country in this situation. The sad reality is that many other attacks have happened unattended around this local government area in the past. Stephanos Foundation here recall with sadness these similar attacks of the same magnitude that have occurred in the area. 1, the MANGU attack of April to July 2023, the BLADI attack of 23rd to 24th June 2018, the Dogona Hawa attack of 7th March 2010 in Jos South, the 17th January 2010 violence around villages of Jos North and Jos South, the Jos North riot of 28 November 2008, and the 7th September crisis of 2001 in Jos North local government area, just to mention a few. Presently, most of these areas we have observed have become no-go area for the ethnic people, owners of the area. Instead, we have seen new settlements, new buildings, new houses all over these places. It is worthy of note here that last year, from 1st January to 31st December 2023, Stephanos Foundation recorded 686 instances of violence from 34 states across the Federation. From these attacks, we recorded 4,357 number of persons dead and 1,791 people abducted, yet this does not even show all the instances that have taken place that year, as many may have occurred unreported. In 22 years, from 2001 to 2023, Stephanos Foundation recorded a total of 5,344 instances of violence that have claimed the lives of 41,879 Nigerians. The record shows that 1,296 of these instances were Boko Haram violence that killed 17,406 Nigerians. Some 1,248 instances were of Fulani attacks that killed 14,605 people. Others include 2,716 violence of unknown gunmen killings that have killed 6,459. Some 84 instances of religious mob violence, killing 3,409, and a total of 11,552 cases of kidnappings all around the country. Yet, this is just a conservative number, as our record does not show all of the instances. And like I said, many may have occurred unrecorded. The situation where armless, defenseless people are attacked and killed with guns and machetes in their homes. In the middle of the night, their houses burnt, properties looted, and the entire community displaced is unacceptable. It is even worse when the attackers are unapprehended, let alone prosecuted. This is worrisome for a country that is not at war. Reports from eyewitness and direct victims across board indicate to us that these attacks are carried out in literally the same style. Attackers dress in similar fashion, targeting victims with similar profiles. And I beg to say here that mostly they are Christians and they are religious minority and they are ethnic people in those localities. This has happened in Agatu, Goma, and Logo in Benue State. It also has happened in Kagoro, Zangon Kataf, Kajuru, Kafanchan, in southern Kaduna, Bassam, Riom, BLADI, MANGU, and now BOKKOS in Plateau State. And the list goes on. It is with renewed hope that Nigerians heard President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said in his inaugural speech that security would be given top priority during his tenure. At that time, it was MANGU local government area under attack. But up till now, as we're talking, there has not been any effective response. In fact, as we're talking now, MANGU is on fire. Instead, more attacks have now occurred, affecting 2 more communities of the state. Plateau's citizens have again had Mr. President instructing some security chiefs to move to the state and to ensure that perpetrators of these attacks are fished out. Nigerians can only believe this with hope that it would go beyond mere rhetoric and translate into some reality on ground. Stephanos Foundation is here to paint these realities of the situation to the entire world. The Plateau situation calls for an urgent action. We are here for you to listen to these people themselves. They are now in camps with their need for food, medicine, clothes, and shelter. We are calling on all humanitarian agencies and the general public to visit the survivors and assist in every way possible. Thank you very much, and long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Gentlemen.
I am the Public Relations Officer of the BOKKOS Cultural Development Council. Stephanos Foundation, ladies and gentlemen of the press, allow me to lean on the already established protocol. With heavy heart and grief, I am presenting a brief press release by BOKKOS Cultural Development Council, BOKKOS Local Government, Plateau State, on the persistent genocide, ethnic cleansing, kidnapping, and land grabbing, and existential threat to its people by Fulani terrorists and their collaborators. We, Deron, Kulere, and Mushere indigenous people of BOKKOS Local Government Council have deemed it necessary to call a press conference and explain to the world the threat to our existence owing to the relentless, calculated, and well-orchestrated plan by Fulani terrorists and their to exterminate us and take over our land. Historical background. We, the above listed chiefdoms, are the Ochotons of BOKKOS Local Government Area of Plateau State, Nigeria. We are predominantly farmers, that is crop farmers and livestock, who have existed with people from all parts of Plateau and Nigeria. The rise of terror, impunity, and violence against the BOKKOS people. Unfortunately, this wonderful brotherhood ruptured when the Fulani settlers began to invite and collaborate with their tribesmen from various parts of Africa who migrated annually to graze for pasture on a roving basis. These strange and often hostile and violent Fulani came bearing all sorts of arms and dangerous weapons with a motive to cause chaos. The unleashment of terror attacks and genocide on the natives of BOKKOS. We, the Ochotons of BOKKOS, are not unaware that Nigeria is a heterogeneous nation of over 450 autochthones. In the last decade, we, the native of BOKKOS, have faced tremendous and systematic dislodgement from our ancestral homes through well-orchestrated and organized genocidal attacks meted on us by the Fulani terrorists and their internal and external collaborators. In July 2016, our first-class paramount chief was murdered. By the Fulanis. Thereafter, 3 district heads were also gruesomely murdered. On the 12th April 2016, 20th May 2016, and 27 June 2023, respectively. These ugly scenarios have been consistent, isolated killings, kidnappings, rape, and other heinous crimes. The recent attack of 23rd to 26th of December 2023 was the worst hit, resulting in the simultaneous attack of 24 villages through a well-coordinated and premeditated plan by the Fulani terrorists and their hired mercenaries from Nasarawa State and other neighboring states, leaving us with a colossal loss and damages as follows. Number of people killed, 200. Number of people injured and are still in the hospital, 88. Missing persons, 4. IDPs, 19,000. Houses burned, 1,127. Vehicles burned, 81. Motorcycles burned, 187. Water pumps for dry season irrigation burned, 267. And churches burned, 8. The way forward and our prayers. 1, care for IDPs. 2, immediate rehabilitation and resettlement of the IDPs back to their ancestral homes. 3, adequate compensation to victims and survivors of the attack. 4, proper and diligent investigation and prosecution of the roaming killers and mercenaries. 5, stop to wanton arrest of innocent indigenous youths. 6, purge of compromised security personnel. 7, establishment of the North Central Development Commission. 8, immediate eviction of Fulani terrorists from our illegally occupied ancestral mountains, indigenous lands, and mining sites. 9, recovery of all our illegally occupied lands and homes. I've taken that. 10, establishment of a mobile police barracks. And 11, the ban on open grazing. Conclusion. We wish to reiterate that our people, that is Deron, Kulere, and Mushere, are peace-loving and accommodating, and shall never refuse to live with law-abiding Nigerians, irrespective of their tribe, religion, or race. However, we shall also never accept the antics of killer Fulani and their mercenaries, who come to kill, steal, and destroy our livelihoods. If their goal is to annihilate us through systematic genocide, then we take our case to the government, and to God, our Creator. As Christians, we have faith in God, who created us and placed us on the land of BOKKOS. He will never leave us nor forsake us. The fate of Haman in the book of Esther awaits those who think they are more human than us or have the right to life while we don't. Let the world know that as far as we are concerned, we have no problem with the Fulanis and are not engaged in any so-called farmer-herders clash. What we are witnessing is pure premeditated mass murder of our people by those who think and value cows and animals over human lives. If there are so-called clashes, how come we do not clash with other settlers or of various ethnic and religious background in the market, in our environments and communities? Do you clash with someone who come to kill babies, women, and the senior citizens in their sleep? The answer is no. Finally, we thank the people of Plateau State and Nigeria of conscience who have stood behind us in our period of grief and relentless attacks. We appreciate most especially the media who have projected our plight to the world and given the right perspective in their reportage. We urge you to continue to report the truth and shun those who want to twist the truth and hide the evil agenda and activities of our attackers that are now trying to use the media to wash away their atrocities in order to escape justice. God bless BOKKOS local government.
Gentlemen of the press, good day to you all. I'm Chief Joseph Gwankat, KSM, the President of the Mobile Development Association, and Mobile resident in MANGU local government area. Like my brother Stephanus has said, I've been restless since morning because currently there is a massive attack on the local government capital. Today, I'm constrained again to organize another press conference here. Having been here last year, Moravul people, as I've said earlier, are one of the most peaceful people throughout the country and are known to have accepted peacefully and peacefully hosted other ethnic nationalities, including the Fulani. If you go there, you find the Hausa in their great number, the Igbos in their great number, the Yorubas in their great number, and indeed other ethnic nationalities that we have in this country, living peacefully with the Moravul people who are their host community. And again, the Fulani have been there too, living with us peacefully. They have intermarried with us. Some of them even speak the Moravul language more than me. I don't know where we got it wrong. Because even my father, before he died in 1977, he had cattle with the Fulani. That shows friendship. So we don't know where we got it wrong. And that is a bitter truth. I don't know whether these people are coming from outside. Even if they are coming from outside, somebody must have invited them. And that is our great pain. It is important to note that at the moment, over 82 villages have been attacked and some sacked of their inhabitants, where their properties have been burned or looted and their farms grazed upon by Fulani raiders, protected by well-armed Fulani militias. Many churches, schools, business centers have been wiped out, and the economic and educational activities of the people have been dislocated in all these 82 villages. If you see at the end of page 1, these are I've listed some of the villages that have been attacked, and some of them have left the villages because they're in complete ruin. And the people have left the place, and some killed. It is no longer news, therefore, that there is a well-planned and coordinated attack being executed against the movable nation of MANGU local government in the last 10 months. These incessant attacks have given rise to orphans, widows, and widowers, with the economic lifeline of our people completely destroyed in the affected communities. At the last count, out of over 82 communities that have been attacked in MANGU local government from April to date, many are still being attacked with many deaths and the communities deserted. Like I said, I've told you, it's still on because the capital is under attack. It started yesterday late in the evening. As a matter of fact, as we do this press conference today, there are still pockets of attack going on in some of our villages, with killings and destruction of properties from our community to another. The threats of pending attacks from the Fulani herdsmen is not over, and our people have continued to live in fears, while many cannot go back to their homes, either for fear of being attacked again, or their homes have been completely destroyed. Just last week, we had spots of attacks in Meirana, Kubat, and Sabot, where we lost 3 people, 3 young people, able people. And the threats of pending attacks are still being received. Today, as I speak, over 82 villages have been attacked. Over 500 people have been killed. Over 200,000 people have been displaced. Over 200,000 people are living in IDPs or in the houses of their relations. Some of them, we have traced them to Port Harcourt, Lagos, and all over the places. They have left their ancestral land. Hundreds of hectares of crops were destroyed during the last farming season. Hundreds of children have been made orphans, and hundreds of women and men rendered widows and widowers. All these are done with mission, and the mission is clear: to drive us out of the land and occupy it. This is the only heritage that our grandparents handed over to us over the centuries. This is a mission impossible. We will not allow this to happen. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, nobody can claim ignorance of what has befallen our people. As such, our people are prone to a lack of food, clothing, shelter, medication, and above all, security. The return to our ancestral land is not negotiable. We therefore pray that immediate resettlement of displaced people, so that they will also exist as a people in Nigeria. They are also Nigerians. A special education program for the children who are no more in school as a result of the crisis. These are the future of tomorrow. Food, shelter, clothing for the displaced people. Trauma healing, because these people are really traumatized, hard-working people, and have become beggars, living on charity. In conclusion, we have never left our ancestral land in pursuit of any perceived enemies to attack and kill them, but enemies of the state have mobilized themselves, we believe, at regional, national, and subnational levels to attack us. We urge our people to remain firm and unshakable in the defense of their ancestral land. And we will do so with the last drop of our blood. Thank you all, and remain blessed.
Holding this conference. My name is Gyang Dudu Daliop. I am the president worldwide of Birom Educational and Cultural Organization, also known as BOKKOS, the leading organization in Birom land, covering Jos North, Riom, Jos South, and BLADI local government areas. I will just give a summary of happenings in our own area of the land. And this will include the first incident ever, which started in 2001 and started in a remote area of Jos North called Trenyap, where there was a misunderstanding with two people that snowballed into a full-fledged religious war in and around Jos. It never stopped from there. From that moment till today, we have witnessed sustained crises, sustained attacks on the livelihood and the land itself. In Birom land, only the antics have changed, but nothing have drastically changed from the order of attacks. It's either they come massively or they attacked via picking people, waylaying people, hacking people on the farm and in mining areas. The attack may look massive, but there is a guerrilla tactics being adopted as well. Women are not spared, children are not spared. When they meet you on the way, they hack you down and they kill you. And these are mostly done by Fulani militias. Response has not always been easy because of the challenges of logistics and somewhat double dealings by security agencies. Most early warning signs of planned attacks are received and made available to the security agencies. Yet, such attacks will still go on. We wonder what is happening. The next thing they do is to arrest our young men who may want to put a resistance. And the next thing, the security agencies will round them up, and most of them are languishing in jails today. We are wondering why some people are above the law. There are people, we have named their names, they have been identified to be part of these genocides and activities. None of them have been arrested, and those arrested have been also released. What happens when they killed and maim our people? They take over the land, they take over the territory, and begin to erect buildings in those areas, and assume positions, and change names of those very localities. Mahanga, as it's being called today, is a traditional Birom settlement called Rakum. If you check the maps, you will see it correctly so. But it has been changed. And even a school was sponsored by the presidency during Buhari's period, where a school was named for the Ardo of Mahanga, sponsored from the presidency. We raised objections to that, and we were invited on that issue, and they stepped it down. The location of those people tormenting us is not unknown, but the security agencies have refused to act. And we're calling on the world today to know that their hideouts are not in any way in a mystery. We know their hideouts. But why have they not been visited? The major crisis we have seen and faced since 2001 and have claimed so many lives, so many of our people gone. In the crisis of 2001, over 2,000 people were killed. In the same year, in Indian village of Fan district of BLADI, an attack again came and 15 people were killed, including the district head. In 2008, there was mass killing and mass destruction of residential places, business premises, worship places in and around Jos and Bukuru, and our people were dislocated from all the settlements in and around Jos. I am a victim. My father's house was burnt. Everything that has to do with our historical documents and very sensitive materials were burnt in that crisis. That house is still in ruins in Chwanyap of Jos North. Churches have not been spared. And you will recall that in 2012, July to be precise, we lost a high-profile senator and a member of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Senator Gang Danton and Honorable Gang Fulani. These two individuals went for a burial and received an attack. They were chased until they lost their lives. These two high-profile persons are Birom people, and they were all killed. We woke up in 2010 in Dogon Nahawa. The traditional name is Gembruk. It's in BLADI local government. We woke up that morning and 300 people were slaughtered, killed, women, children. The tomb is there. If you have spare time and come to Jos, we will take you to the mass grave of 300 living souls who were killed. More of these activities continued. In 2010 again, 12 people were killed in Bay. Bay is in Riom local government. Between 2011 to 2014, over 80 people, including women and children, were massacred in an area called Jaw in Riom local government. 2014, over 37 people, mostly women and children, were massacred in Bachi district, despite the presence of security. On the 23rd of June 2018, over 200 people were massacred in gashes, if you remember the story of the imam who saved some people. In spite of that, over 200 people were killed within the same incident. 11 June 2023, 19 people were killed in Riom, mostly at their mining camps and mining sites. August 2023, before the incidents of December 2023, 21 persons were killed in Hepang and Weren and Kui. Young gallant men were slaughtered overnight. I will not forget 12 people who were killed in Tanjol and Tare village of Jol in Riom local government. We have a countless list. It is sad that we are discussing the number of people killed as if those were not lives. Basically, this challenge started like a religious one, and it changed to the political. It gave itself a political coloration. At some point, you will think it is farmers and herders clashing. But eventually, from the connection of the various localities within the plateau, you will know that the mission is beyond politics, religion, or herders clashes. It is an intention to emancipate and take over our places. We are not unaware of the rights of by Magban and their co-host, trying to twist facts, trying to change the narratives. But I don't blame them. I blame the government. Let them interrogate. We have made claims. Let them come and interrogate us. We will take them to where these incidences happen. They are free to do the same and not to lay frivolous claims and trying to confuse the world by changing the narratives. We are the victims and will remain the victims until justice is done to us. We have people in IDPs till tomorrow, women and children, who have forgotten that they ever existed in any form of a territory. Our ancestral lands have been taken over, and these people are happy somewhere, feeling they have done something and they have taken over. This is like a conquest in the 21st century. And we are living in a country that is sovereign. We have surrendered our sovereignty to Nigeria, and this is the way Nigeria is treating us. I call on the international community to come, listen to our plight, and speak out, and talk to our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to raise up a strong body that will check and stop this menace among our people. We are Nigerians. We don't have anywhere besides this place that God has given us. We don't have any country. We don't have any link to anybody anywhere outside this country, and we remain Nigerians, and we remain people of Plateau State, and we are not living and we are not surrendering any piece of our land for anybody, no matter the torment. Thank you, and God bless you.
The Plateau Initiative for Development and Advancement of the Natives, PIDAN, the umbrella body of all the 56 autonomous communities of Plateau State, once again reiterate our condemnation in strongest terms of the systematic attacks and killings of our law-abiding, peaceful, and accommodating citizens by any group or persons by whatever name and reasons. PIDAN is greatly concerned about misconception, perceptions, and misinformation by these attackers. The resumed, dastardly well-coordinated genocide has gone on for about 3 decades, despite our accommodative and peaceful nature. We wonder why we have faced so much hostility by some people while the Igbos, Yorubas, and the South have lived in peace with us without laying claim to any part of the state. People must learn to obey the culture of their host communities. Plateau people don't go to any state, to anywhere in the world to claim ownership of the place. Instead, they integrate and live peacefully with their host communities, participating in their activities peacefully. And we see no reason why others would like to claim our place. Plateau State, which has become a home to all ethnic nationalities across Nigeria, has suffered abuses and envy because of the rich mineral deposits which God has blessed us with. That is one of the major reasons that we have discovered, because Plateau State is blessed with rich mineral deposits. And most of the recent attacks can be seen to have been planned for a long time because of some of these blessings that God has endowed us with. And we frown at that. Our prayers, as enumerated by my compatriots, my brothers from the different communities that are recently facing the attacks. 1, we demand justice, fairness, and equity in handling of all cases of attacks in our communities. Yes, some of the community leaders that have presented their cases here are not the entire plateau, because there are some of the communities that have suffered such attacks, like the Irigwe, which is just a stone throw from the military outpost. Yet for weeks, killings were going on. There was no response. But when there was an incident of people who claimed that they were on their way to Ondo, and what took them through Bassa, we don't know. Within less than 6 hours, the military, the security agency, both state and national, were there. And so that is why we say justice must be done to respond, quick response to our people, because there seems to be selective justice for the Plateau man. And also, we discover that there are places, like mentioned by one of my community leaders from the state, that these security men know are being occupied by these bandits, killers, yet nothing has been done about for some years gone past. In fact, one of the communities that was not mentioned by any of them is the attacker in Riom local government. It has completely been wrecked. Nobody is staying there. And the security are aware of this. And so it gives us a lot of worry that there has been no justice to our people in the state. We call on the federal government to strengthen the security architecture in the frontline communities. We call on the federal and state governments to return all internally displaced persons to their ancestral land with adequate security to prevent the looming food crisis because of these attacks. Plateau State is not just home of peace and tourism, but it is also the food basket of Nigeria. And I mean the food basket of Nigeria. Go to BOKKOS, where my brothers have just expressed their grief, and MANGU. These are 2 local government areas that part of the food of Nigeria, most are coming from potatoes, rice, maize, guinea corn, and so many other foodstuffs. And so this is something that should draw the attention of whoever is in power. We can we call on security agencies to monitor people with unguarded utterances and bring them to order. You know, there are people that make comments, and I am surprised that in the same country, you are listening to these people even laying claim that they came to Plateau State, like the Magban chairman in Plateau State. I think this man should be monitored and should be called to order. And the last year, he came out and said they came to Plateau State before the Biroms and Moavul, and the security had him, and nothing was done to this man. Most of them making unguarded utterances are walking free in the street. And we wonder whether we're in the same country with these people. But if this type of utterances are uttered by our people, in fact, give them 6 hours, 2 hours, they will call them, they will arrest them. The government should ensure the implementation of white paper reports of Judiciary Commission. Let me tell you, when we talk of the 20, it stems back to as far as 1994, when there was a very serious crisis in Plateau State. Because of our accommodative nature, people have taken advantage of our peaceful conduct to claim ownership of especially Jos North. And a Judiciary Commission was set, chaired by Nikki Toby. And it came out very clearly to say that Jos North is owned by Birom, Afisere, and Anadukuta. But some people, up till date, as I'm speaking, still lay claim to Jos North, just because they have stayed in Jos North for a long time. And government is aware of this. We are calling on both state and federal government to come to the aid of our people by putting into use what this Judiciary Commission came out with as their own their own opinions. Culprits arrested should be prosecuted where they are arrested. It is very sad that somebody will be arrested in Jos, and the next time you hear is that the man has been transferred to Abuja. This gives us a lot of cause for worry. Let the person be dealt with, let him be prosecuted there to serve as deterrent to other people that will have such spirit, dirty indeed spirit. Distorted news carriers with false claims should be checked and prosecuted. As earlier observed by one of my community leaders, yes, this especially the Fulani killer herdsmen, let them come and show the world that these are the communities they belong to. We have the names, even on the sheet that I prepared this text. You can see underneath the name, the list of the communities that own Plateau State. Nothing more, nothing less. You will see the list there. These are the owners, the autochthonous, whose land is in their name. Nobody can even come from MANGU to Jos South and claim ownership of Jos South. No, from Jos South to Shandam, no Shandam to Bassa. No, these places have the owners. And I can imagine that somebody is coming from a far place that you accommodate as is trying to claim ownership. When the Fulanis, last year said there are about 7 communities were attacked in BOKKOS. What communities do they have? When you accommodate somebody, he becomes owner. And unfortunately, the security is not helping matters because there are distorted reports. In BOKKOS, in the last attack, the Christmas Eve of 2023, there was one of the victims who said he knew some of these people, that you could identify them. But they twisted it to mean that they are some people from the community. No, these are people they have accommodated. And they could identify some of them. And so this twisted, distorted report should be checked. And honestly, culprits should be dealt with. Otherwise, this peace that is eluding us will continue. Finally, we want to put on record the wonderful work of Stephanos, that they come out with facts. And I want the world to know that when organizations like this speak, present issues, they are really presenting the issues as they are on ground. We want to thank you, Stephanos, once more. And the press, those of you who have always conveyed our feelings, our grace, we say thank you. I have received calls because I coordinate all these communities in the state. I receive reports every day, every moment. Even as we were sitting here, we were receiving reports. That's why we can tell you confidently that MANGU is currently under attack. And so we want to thank you very sincerely. Once more, Stephanos, thank you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Over the years, Stephanos has existed in this situation for over 20 years. We have observed that somehow our differences have been exploited. Starting from our religious differences. In 2001, as you heard the Birom people said, that was when these ugly events started. A situation where a young girl coming from work to go and have lunch, and because she was crossing, trying to find a path on a major road that was supposed to be a motorway, but because it has been taken on by Muslims for prayer, she was stopped for hours, awaiting when they would complete their prayers before she would go home. But when she tried to manage and get home from somehow, they followed her to the house and they hacked her and beat her and burned the house, together with her father and everybody that is there. This was the beginning in 2001, and this was what started. Before the elders of the community could understand what it was, there were militants jumping fences and shouting Allah Akbar and shouting, let's claim our land. That was a very serious issue. We as an organization, we recorded over 142 victims that were killed. I remember we presented a report to Nikki Toby. That's the report that you heard that was not, the findings were not, they were neglected. So Stephanos always print reports. We also print books that we make public. We have printed a book that is titled Religious Intolerance, a Threat to Nigeria's Unity. We circulated that. And in 2010, we started filing this report that is titled Killings in North and Central Nigeria, a threat to ethno-religious freedom and democracy. So if you hear what the Birom and all these tribal groups are saying, what we are seeing is a denial of every right. You see the local people who have accommodated settlers over the years, you see them being intimidated, and you see them continuously being attacked for no reason. And settlers, they neglect the structure, the legal structures that should bring about peace in the land, and they go about building houses anywhere. The moment you try to raise issues as a leader, they raise Allah Akbar and you become dead. That's how they have recorded most of their leaders killed. So this situation that has happened has been seen by local Nigerians as a jihad, because many recall that similar thing happened over 200 years, and it happened similarly. And because from that these are Fulani, You see, one thing with Fulani people, they don't hide. The association of the Fulani, called Magban, comes out to lay claim of carrying out this attack. And they even give you reasons why they do it. Yes, they justify it. What bothers us is we're living in a country where you go to authority, constituted authority, to give you justice. But the event where Fulani themselves or their group and leadership will take the law into their hands and begin claiming responsibility for this kind of attack, and yet they are not checked, is what bothers us. Our people have been patient, and they will continue to be patient. We are hoping that the authority will come to its senses and begin to address this kind of thing. It is no news. Even this one that is happening today in MANGU, it was Fulani people that stopped a Mwagaful man on a motorbike and gave him a thorough beating. Why did they do that? So when they perceive offense or they think that there is an offense done to them and they take the law into their hands, what do you expect the locals to do? So it is not news that it's Fulani that are doing this. And they come to, you get a response from the Sultan of Sokoto. And anything that is happening in Plateau State, the Sultan will respond. And highly respected clerics like Sheikh Gumi will come out and say Christians will continue to be killed until there are hospitals for the bandits. What is that? And we live in this kind of society with people like that. How more can we tolerate it? And this is the frustration. Even we who are trying to get the locals to be law-abiding are frustrated. Because you see people making utterances that naturally, when you make that as a local, you'll be arrested and you will be left in prison. But these people are neglected. They are allowed to even be highly placed in the society. So what kind of a society are we living in as Nigeria? That's what bothers us as Stephanos Foundation. People need, at the moment, security. You need security to be able to live in peace. We were living in peace. What has happened? Where are the security men? How can they protect us to continue to live in peace in our homes? That's what we need paramount. The second thing that is clear here is that our people are outside. We need humanitarian support at this time. Our homes have been burnt. We are struggling with the realities of the loss of lives, and yet we don't have places to stay. We need to go back to our homes. Can they rebuild our homes so that we go back to our homes? That is clear. Some people are still struggling with wounds in their bodies, being hacked by machetes. Can we get some medical care? We also are struggling with trauma. You expect us to go back and live in peace with people we see as perpetrators. How can that be done without help? So we need trauma care. We need some form of therapy to help us respect the people we see as enemies, if we must live in peace in this place. And honestly, all these people want their ancestral home. Land is some form of heritage. Land is a source of economy. Land is where we get our food and our livelihood. If that has been taken away and we are now left to even squat in cities, how can we continue? The shocking thing is the food security. Like we said, MANGU and BOKKOS is the food basket. If we are not allowing and enabling these people to go back, there will be a lot of shortage of food in Nigeria in time to come. At the moment, people are even struggling with the cost of food stuff. What will it be next year? So, in summary, I think I've answered your question. These are matchstick, straight to point points of demand and request.
Thank you very much.
The first question, don't you think people should secure themselves? I hope we know that defense is a right. And if you fail to defend yourself, you have also failed in your duty. So, it is a right. And yet, when people have exercised some restraint from this kind of callous incidences and situations for long, then they should be commended. If people are allowed to begin to imagine what you are saying, to sustain, begin to secure themselves, then of course it's a form of anarchy. And who knows who can become a victim of such tomorrow. And this is why organizations like Stephanos Foundation is trying hard to bring hope in this situation. Because believe you me, if these Plateau tribes, who are 98 in number, come up to profile the Fulani, you will know that it will be casualty for Fulani in Plateau State. And that's why we say, no, there is law and there are security or law agencies. If you are aggrieved, take your matter to the security agencies and they will bring justice. What we are seeing is failure of justice, and we are hoping that the government who care about the security of this country are also thinking in the light of your question. If I am the president of this country, I would be concerned, because if everyone carries out arms and begin to attack or secure himself, who will be the perpetrator? It will be difficult for this country to secure and bring about peace. And so that's why we're trying hard to stop anarchy happening in this country. So we are calling on government to rise up, do the needful, bring justice in the situation. You know, it shocked me when you said, are we sure it's Fulani? You know, Fulani have been arrested in BLADI. They were taken to court. They were in the prisons. I hope you are not you're uninformed about the fact that they broke the jail in BLADI. They went to Jos in a very militant way and destroyed the prisons, killed even a warder, and took their people away. What has the government done about that? So these are the issues that we are battling with. How can we bring peace? How can we get people to continue to think good of Fulani in the light of this situation? So I hope I've answered your question.
Let me add this.
For updates.